What's up, everybody? If you're not watching it live, you'll watch it later. We'll wait for some people to get in here before we get too far in depth. But if you, as usual, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'm going to grab a couple pieces of candy here for my mouth. But anyway, we are going to try to keep doing some more live shows here. Let me plug in my mic, get that started. All right, ready. We're going to talk Steelers draft stuff, all that fun, all that fun stuff. All right, I'll wait for a couple people to start joining here. Might be slow goings here at the beginning, guys. But again, put your thoughts, concerns, everything like that after we've seen the Senior Bowl stuff, all that stuff. What's up, Justin? How are you, buddy? Um, we'll talk a little bit about the Steelers mock drafts that are floating around out there. All right. I brought up a couple here on the computer just to see. You guys that are in here now that we're just getting started, what do you guys think of this drafting a safety here in the first round? I'm good, Justin. Thank you for asking, buddy. I'm glad you're doing good too, buddy. Um, they have in this mock draft that I'm looking at, they have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking a safety, Cameron Kitchens, out of Miami. Um, with the 23rd pick. I'm not sure why. Maybe they trade back in this mock draft, I believe. Yeah. I don't like that, though. I'm not sure if I would be into taking a safety. Why? When you already have Minka Fitzpatrick back there, you have KZ. I'm not sure if I'm into that pick in round one. 24K Lightning. Hey, Jason, I wasn't very impressed with the players I saw in the Senior Bowl today either. Yeah, I wasn't watching it super close either. I was watching it, but I was doing some other things around the house, but I wasn't overly impressed either. Um, I've seen some good play. I mean, out of Spencer Rattler, I don't think Bo Nix looked horrible. But again, some of these like all-star games and things of that nature, you can't do everything that you can do in a real game. So it's so hard, I think, to really gauge some positions. You know what I mean? JD says, oh, lineman, center would be a good pick. I agree. I think center got to be a priority in this draft. And in this mock draft that I'm looking at here, Cedric Van Pran out of Georgia, center in round 3 with the 87th pick. They're projecting the Steelers to maybe take him. I just think that they need to address it at some point in this draft. I would prefer to be high. I've seen some people talking about the West Virginia center right down the road from me. I would be cool with that. You know, maybe get him in round 2. I like getting Powers Jackson in there too. I like him a lot, the Oregon guy. I really do. Yeah, I really think center has to be addressed, but I think tackle also has to be addressed. Or do you ride with Dan Moore Jr.? They like Dan Moore, guys. I don't think they're absolutely head over heels in love with Dan Moore Jr., but I think they like him enough to keep wheeling him out there. I don't look for Chooks Okorafor to be part of this team next year. So there are some. Yeah, there's some gaps that they really have to fill on this offensive line, guys, for sure. 24K Lightning. I brought up Spencer Rattler for the Steelers a few months back, and people thought I was crazy. I don't think you're crazy, man. I don't 24K. I really don't think you're crazy, man. I kind of like Spencer Rattler. I like his build. I like the way he runs around. I wish he had a little bit more arm strength. I'm not saying he has a weak arm by any stretch of the imagination. I'm absolutely not. I'm just saying I would just like to see just a little bit more, and maybe since it's not quite there, he could develop that as he grows into a pro. I like the way he moves around. I like the way he had some upset wins last year. I believe he upset what was it? Maybe Clemson or something. He had some wins, you know, some signature wins throughout his career in college. So I mean, I don't know. I think he could be all right, dude. Let's go to try to look at some of these other mock drafts, guys. I just really want to. I'm really trying to focus on this draft stuff now and really starting to try to break it down. I have the Steelers really trying to get that center in the first round. I really, really think that that's where they're going to aim, center or tackle. I really do. And I think that'll be 2 straight years because of going offensive line, guys. Because you have to build that foundation. You have to have that offensive line intact. Yes, they went out in free agency and they used the draft last year to mix things up a little bit to try to start getting this offensive line revived. And I think they did an okay job. I think they're almost right there. And I think another year of a high quality draft pick on the offensive line, either center or another bookend tackle, I think you could really do big things if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers on the offensive line. But center is the quarterback of that O line, and you got to have a quality center, or things are going to be rough. And I don't think Mason Cole is quite there, man. Maybe with some other guys on the offensive line, he does a little bit better. I don't know. I just don't like him at all. I really can't think of a world in which I think Mason Cole greatly and vastly improves enough that it matters for the Pittsburgh Steelers to where it's going to make a difference and he's going to be able to be kept, in my eyes, on the roster. Um, yeah, JD, I was thinking that today, buddy, about a trade up. JD asked about a trade up, guys. I think that the Steelers possibly could, but they're going to have to be in love with somebody, and I think it's not going to be a quarterback or anything like that. I really don't. I think it would be for an offensive lineman like they did last year, jumping up ahead of, the Jets and things of that nature, just jumping up a couple picks. I don't foresee the Steelers jumping up monster 10 picks, 12 picks. I don't see any of that type of spending and draft capital and things of that nature to get up that high. You gotta mortgage the future for that type of pick in my eyes. But I do think that they could jump up a pick or two. I really do, and I think that would maybe pay big dividends if that means you're going to get a big time offensive lineman, one that you really are going to count on for the future and move along with Broderick Jones and Isaac Smalu and those types of guys. But I think you could get a good center in the second round. That guy from West Virginia seems to be good. A lot of guys in the comments, a lot of people in the comments are talking about that center. What's his name? Frazier, I believe, is his last name. Maybe we'll do a little look up of him. WVU center. Yeah, we'll look him up and see. But yeah, yeah. So I brought up WVU Center on the computer, and it brought me up WVU Reproductive Center. We don't want that kind of center. Not at all. We're done in that category over here at the Jacobs House. Believe that for sure. Let's see. Yeah, Zach Frazier is his name, guys. He's 6'3", 310 pounds. He's out of Fairmont, West Virginia, right down the road from me. He's a junior, playing in the Big 12, so it's decent competition there. And I think he could really do some big things. He got hurt there. What did he do? Break his fibula, I believe, against Baylor. And that derailed him, man. But I think he could be a quality guy for this Pittsburgh Steelers team. I think you could get him at a fair spot in the draft in the second round and really maybe dedicate that first round pick to a big time tackle, man, and go out and get another tackle to play opposite of Broderick Jones. Find that guy and have two real bookends on that offensive line and couple that with guys like Darnell Washington and, players of that nature at tight end. I think you could have something good going, man. I really, really do. Let's before we keep going with this draft stuff, guys, what do you all think about? I put out some content today talking about the new additions possibly in the offensive room, passing game coordinators, quality control coordinators inside of that offensive room for the Steelers this year under Arthur Smith. We don't typically see the Steelers do those types of things. Is this a good move? What do you guys think? Put that in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about that. And if you think the Steelers are starting to become a little bit more modernized in their way of thinking, and if Arthur Smith is really bringing this type of stuff in and really doing these hires on his own. I heard that he is doing these hires, that he's the guy interviewing these passing game specialists, coordinators, quality control guys, the New York Jets coach Zach Azim, the wide receivers coach, things of that nature, the passing game specialist Tom Arth. So they're doing those things. Does this mean a quality thing's going to happen for the Steelers football team on offense? I think it's only going to mean good things. I really, really do, guys. Anything else you guys want to talk about or thinking about, let me know, and we'll talk about it, man. I just wanted to keep doing these live shows and getting them up, doing them more and more and more. But as we talk about the draft, would you guys be opposed if the Steelers went off of what we were just saying, center or tackle or anything? Do you think going out and getting a cornerback to match up with Joey Porter Jr. would be a wise move in the first round? Or do you think that that would be too much of a significant piece of draft capital to give up to go out and get a corner to match up with Joey when you got maybe Corey Trice that could possibly do well? I'm just saying, do you think the Steelers would be wise in doing so? Do you think that that's a position that requires a first round draft pick? Look at the Steelers' first round guys here as of late. What do you got? What we have Terrell Edmonds. We had, guys like that, and they don't all work out. So that's just one example of they all don't work out. So that's what I say. Should you really try to hammer down and just go for an offensive lineman, things of that nature, instead of trying to reach and grab a corner when the Steelers haven't typically drafted a corner well over the years? I know now you have Omar Khan in place. Maybe that makes a difference in their ability to draft corners. Is this draft deep enough to get corners later in the draft? What about the safety position that people have them mocked possibly taking? And here's another thing. Do you trade a guy like Minka Fitzpatrick to gain draft capital? He's a significant hit on this cap, dude. Uh, uh, Guys, he's a significant hit. So teams don't really pay a safety that much money usually. Is trading a guy like Minka Fitzpatrick wise? He has been getting some injuries. He's beat up this year badly. Do you think it's wise for the Steelers now, while he still has some significant value, to get a good haul for him in terms of draft capital and get out from underneath some of that cap space, that cap money that they are going to be down from Minka, to where they could spend it elsewhere? And maybe then it would be wise to go out and get a safety in the draft. Maybe, just a thought. I'm just saying. Or is there anybody else that you would consider them trading to get some draft capital? To get rid of some cap space. What do you guys think about that? Also, put that in the comments. Anybody wants to talk about some of those? JD, they are looking for a lot of DBs, so they might have a plan. Yeah, I've been noticing that too, JD, and that's exactly why I bring that up, and that's why I bring up possibly trading somebody like Minka, gaining some draft capital, double dipping inside of like the second round, maybe double or triple dipping inside of the second round, depending on what you get back for a player of that magnitude. And not to mention the money you get out from under, to where you can spend that elsewhere in free agency and bring in players that could help you immediately. Those types of guys. I keep saying Tyler Boyd. I think that would be a big one this offseason, to get somebody on offense, because the Steelers have to have that third wide receiver. They need that third wide receiver option. They have to have it. And I know Arthur Smith is a run heavy type offensive coordinator, but you still got to have that third wide receiver. And let's just face it, guys, Allen Robinson didn't get the job done this season. He just didn't. He played okay in the run game. He blocked well at times. But as an all round guy, as the third wide receiver, I didn't see anything that would take me there to keep him, to want me to keep him. I just don't. I don't think that. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about the Steelers possibly finding a receiver in this draft? There are a lot of questions that the Steelers got to answer here. There are a lot of needs. You need a corner. You have an aging Patrick Peterson there. You have an injured Corey Trice there. Levi Wallace wasn't the greatest thing since sliced bread. So you do need defensive backs. You might need a safety, so there are holes there. Let's not forget about the inside linebackers. You were ravaged by injury. Quan Alexander would need re-signed, I believe. I don't even think he's on there. So you need those types of players. Cam Hayward's getting old. Yes, you got Keanu Benton last year, but Larry Ogunjobi's getting a little bit older in the tooth too. So I mean, there's a lot of needs there, guys. There's a lot of needs on this defense that was one of the highest paid defenses in the league. So you're going to have to go out and draft some people. They have to spend some draft capital on that, guys, for sure. JD says Ricky Pearsall, Florida wide receiver. Yeah, I'm going to have to look into him totally. Yeah, I think that's an option, guys. They have to have that third wide receiver. You don't have that third wide receiver, you're screwed. You have to have that in the NFL. We don't have Patrick Mahomes or a quarterback like that puts this team on his back and can utilize the tight ends, mix things up. maybe compensate sometimes for a lack of a guy at a position, you know. So we don't have that. So the Steelers got to start bringing some guys in and even some of these things out. JM1 very optimistic on what he will bring. Who is the QB coach right now? I think it's still what's his name, Sullivan, but I think he's in the running for a Rams job. I don't look for Sullivan to be here. I look for Arthur Smith to make some sweeping changes, guys, and that's what we're talking about today, this morning, with some content that we put out earlier today, talking about how they were interviewing some of these guys, specialists, and all that. And I really think that the Steelers are going to modernize themselves. And I think that this is something that we should be rejoicing about in Steelers country here, man, in Steelers Nation, because the Steelers don't always do this. And I think Arthur Smith may be bringing in a new way of thinking of offense. And I applaud him for that. Again, I wasn't the biggest cheerleader for this hire. I really, really wasn't. But I think he's doing some good things so far, and that's positive. JD says, I hope we bring Mason back. Guys, I've been thinking about that. JD brings up a good point here. One of the other commenters, Jamie, Jamy, Jamie, he comments a good bit. He put on there that nothing else matters unless Mason's signed back. I'm not sure, man, if the Steelers, even one, are going to be able to re-sign him. Maybe they do. But does he mean that much? You know what I mean? I would love to see him come back. I agree with JD. I like to see Mason come back. I like to see what he can do with the full season. I really, really do. But is it going to be worth the money? Is it going to be worth the amount of money versus the amount of time you are going to be able to secure him for? What's your plans with Kenny Pickett? Is he going to be just a lost cause? I mean, there's a lot of variables inside of bringing Mason Rudolph back. Also, if you bring Mason Rudolph back and you're planning on keeping Kenny, the minute there is trouble with Kenny, if he does start over Mason, they're going to be calling for his head and calling for Mason. Does that something? Is that something the Steelers want? Do they want to have that type of drama and that type of media attention? Surrounding their football team, because I don't think they do, and I'm not sure if that's going to be something that makes them not bring Mason Rudolph back, guys. I don't know. And I agree with you, JD. I hope they do too. I like the way he played down the stretch. I thought he really played well. I'd love to see him get a chance, but that chance might not be in Pittsburgh, and I hope he gets one somewhere. We'll see how it goes. JM1, what the F, LFO, Sullivan. We got to improve our players internally, whatever the case, 100%. Yeah, I think they need to get rid of Mike Sullivan. I don't think the development of the quarterbacks has been there. Mason Rudolph, I don't think, could be a product of Mike Sullivan or anything like that. Mason Rudolph has become a seasoned veteran, really. I mean, he's been there studying. I think I wouldn't really attribute Mason's success directly to like Mike Sullivan or anybody like that. I would attribute that to Mason's hard work and the way he's put in time and studied is why he had success, and it paid big for Mason down the stretch, and it's going to get him some money, man. It's going to get him a payday. It may not be the hefty payday that he wants eventually, but it's going to be a nice payday. He's going to be in that, I say, no less than $6 million, $5 million a year, but we'll see how that goes. Let's see, 24K Lightning. I like Drake Stoops for a receiver for the Steelers. I think they could get them for a good price. Maybe, guys. Yes, you're right. Anybody that provides quality third receiver play for the Steelers right now is going to be big. Here's another one. I'll get to your comment next. I seen your comment pop up, JD. But here's another one for the Steelers. You have Deontay Johnson now on the last year of his deal. Would it be wise for the Steelers to trade him at an $18 million salary cap hit? Or would that kill that wide receiver room? Losing DJ, would that be so bad for the Steelers? Oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. But that's a big thing I've been asking myself also. He's in the last year. Do you now get something back for Deontay Johnson and get rid of him and find and figure out some guys here in the draft? They've done well drafting receivers. Or do you just ride him out and let him walk here and pay that 18 mil? I mean, what do you do, guys? What do you guys think about Deontay Johnson in a possible trade? So there's two guys I mentioned right now that are big cap hits, guys. The top 3 or 4 on the team, at least Deontay Johnson, Minka Fitzpatrick. What do you think about a draft day trade for either one of those guys? I'm just saying those are options. They clear cap space. They give you available maybe more draft capital available on draft weekend. Those types of things. They could pay big dividends if you got rid of them. And do they contribute enough that it matters that if you really got rid of them, it's going to hurt you that bad? I don't know. JD says Kenny needs to show something or we should move on. I agree, JD. He does need to show something. And when you're entering this year, this third year, this is the pivotal year for him. He's going to have to prove it or lose it, man. And most people say it takes a quarterback 3 years of solid starting to really get his feet underneath him. But that's the question. That's the question. That's the $1 million question. That if a lot of people had the answer to, they'd be a wealthy person because they would be able to go in and guide these teams on what to do with the quarterback position, the most valuable position on the field. Timothy Mizell says Tomlin needs to get control of the team, eliminate the showboating, just play the game. I say it all the time, guys. It's about team, and there needs to be no showboating. You hear guys, I'm not saying the Patriots did everything right or whatever, they're the model of whatever, but it was all about team for guys like Tom Brady, and you saw the success that they had. It was all about team. No one person was bigger than the team, and I am a firm believer in that at all levels of sports. Yes, it's cool to have some superstars, but those superstars shine way brighter whenever that team is around them doing big things. It makes people look better. It's just the way it is. You want guys that are all about the team. That's all you want. And I think that that's what Arthur Smith is bringing into this team. I think that's the life he's breathing into this offense is he's making it about the team first. And I think that that's a most important part of this for Arthur Smith. He came in and said he wants to gain the respect and loyalty of these guys. And I think if that's his focus going in and that's his number one concern, I think he could have some real success. I really, really do. Timothy says, keep Fitz. Which one? Keep Fitz. Who's that? Who are you talking about, bro? Keep Fitz. I'm not sure. I'm drawing a blank. I'm not. I may be. Sorry, I draw blanks sometimes here when we're doing these shows. But yeah, they need to keep. I don't know. They need to get rid of Eddie Faulkner. I think. I think Mike Sullivan too on the coaching staff. I think that Arthur needs to replace them. Not because they're bad guys. Not because they're bad coaches. Just because I think Arthur needs to bring in his people. I think he needs to fill the staff up with people that he's comfortable with, that he's on the same page as. And if Eddie or Mike happen to be those people, sure, keep them, whatever. But I think there might be a level of resentment too, because it's hard to go back after you're calling the plays, after you've been promoted. It's hard to go back down to your job that you were in because you feel like you can do that job that's a higher level now. So maybe you're trying to, further your career somewhere, and it may not be with the Steelers since they brought in Arthur Smith. Legends edits, go Lions. Hey, yeah, Lions. Hey, I gotta say this, guys. I was rooting for the Lions, and I don't know how they left the 49ers, man. They should have slammed the door. I was rooting for them, man, for sure. I was definitely rooting for them. I thought that they had some quality improvements this year under Dan Campbell. I like some Steelers and Randall L on that staff. I thought the Detroit Lions were a good story. I really, really did, and I was rooting for them for sure. So welcome, man. Lions fan in the house. 24K Lightning. Hey, Jason, did you hear that Baker Mayfield is going to try to get a $40 million a year on his new contract? Do you think he's worth that? I do not. I don't think Baker Mayfield is a $40 million a year quarterback. I don't know. Baker Mayfield proved a lot this year. He proved that he could get things done. He went out there. He guided that team. They got beat. They ran into the Lions. That guy, Legend said, it's his talking about the Lions, and they ran into the Lions, and the Lions were a far better, far superior team, and they gave them a battle. They were there. They tried. They made it there in the playoffs, and Baker Mayfield guided that football team that wasn't as filled with talent as they were before when Tom Brady was at the helm. In my opinion, I don't watch the Bucks close enough, nor Baker Mayfield, to really say that I just don't think that he is a $40 million guy. I mean, I don't know. Maybe a couple more good years of playing like he has, getting teams to the playoffs, showing that fight. I know a lot of people wanted him to come to Pittsburgh. Maybe that, maybe that was the case. But I don't think I'd pay him $40 million a year if I was the Steelers. Absolutely not. Not my opinion. I just don't think that he's worth it in my eyes. Let's talk a little bit more Steelers here, mock draft stuff probably. Legend that it's. Do you think Mike Evans will be with the Buccaneers since his contract is over? And do you think Stephon Diggs will stay in Buffalo? Good questions, bro. I thought about those. I wish the Steelers would grab one of those selfishly, one of those two. I don't think Stephon Diggs comes back to the Buffalo Bills. For the main fact is, I thought there was a little bit of drama going on with him and Josh Allen. I thought that he felt like he was not as utilized as he should be. I don't know. I just felt like there was a little bit of tension there, especially when you saw the Steelers play him in the playoffs. I thought that was a little, the dynamic was just a little bit off. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think that he would really probably consider going elsewhere. Mike Evans is an interesting one, guys. Let's think about that one. Mike Evans, where could he go? He's going to demand a paycheck. Is he still that guy? Does he stay in the NFC? Does he hop over to the AFC? Those are going to be big questions. I'm going to do some research into those two guys and see where maybe it looks like they could end up, or if they're going to remain with their teams. Mr. Balls, are you Matt Canada's brother, Mike Canada? I wish, dude. I would. He got money, bro. I wish he could donate me some of that cash he's made. No, I'm not Mike Canada. My name's Jason. Jason, sorry. But anyway, Mr. Balls, where are you from, bro? Are you a Steelers fan? I know we have some Lions fans. I know we have some Bears fans that come into the shows, things like that. So, what are you a fan of the Steelers, or what are you about, bro? Put it in there. But anyway, guys, let's get back on the football here. What kind of that's a good question. We were talking about Mike Evans. We were talking about these free agent type guys, or people that might not be with their teams, maybe facing trades, getting out from underneath some of these salaries for teams when they've paid guys and they don't think that they're worth it anymore. What's a big free agent name that you think even could come to the Steelers or come to your favorite team? Go anywhere. Big free agent guys or big trade guys that could be moved here this offseason that we're not looking at. Anybody got any cool ideas? Different players moving elsewhere. Let's see. Mexican was. Do you think the Jets have a chance at the playoffs next year? I thought the Jets are going to be a solid team this year. The injury to Alex or Aaron Rodgers that just killed them. But they fought, and I feel like they have a good roster in my eyes. I feel like the Jets definitely could make some waves and really be in that playoff hunt come late in the year in 2024. I really, really do. Jets definitely can battle, man, and they were there. They battled each week. They didn't just lay down and die. So I really think the Jets have a solid roster. 1% Productions. Do you think Justin Fields or Kirk Cousins are interesting pickups? For the Steelers, I think it's interesting. I think Justin Fields would be the one that I would be interested in mostly just because he's younger. But Kirk Cousins, I'm not sure what kind of salary he would demand. I know it's going to be hefty. I mean, the guy's got paid, and his contracts have shown that he's going to demand some money. But Kirk Cousins, inside of Arthur Smith offense, Kirk Cousins is a play action machine. I think it could be a good marriage. I really, really do. I just don't like the price tag that would involve. And also, you're getting a older guy, and that's a problem too. That you got to look at that, and you look at even the coaches. People are scared off from older coaches like Bill Belichick. You want that younger guy in place, and when you take a gamble on these older guys, your risk of injury is high. You're dishing a lot of cash out there. It's a problem. You got to really weigh the risk reward there and figure out whether it's going to be worth it or not. And it's just a huge gamble. And are you willing to gamble as a franchise and put 30, $40 million on the table to make that gamble? That's the question. Yeah, they would be cool picks for competition, but those guys are going to beat out Kenny Pickett hands down. Kenny Pickett ain't to that level. I don't think. I don't think he's a Justin Fields level. I don't think he's a Kirk Cousins level for sure. But he would definitely. Kenny would have to have a hell of a camp to beat those guys out. You get a guy like Justin Fields out there. Mike Tomlin loved him coming out of the draft. Really would have probably took him if he had the chance, and I think you would just find out that Justin Fields would be the guy for sure if Mike Tomlin had his choice between the two, in my opinion. Legends edits Justin Fields possibly with a different team because of Caleb Williams could possibly get traded to a different team. Yes, for sure. That's the big thing. They got the high pick. They're going to be able to draft Caleb Williams. Or are they going to be stubborn enough to just rely on Justin Fields? Or do they have enough faith in Justin Fields to say to themselves, hey, we're going with it, man. Justin Fields is our guy. We're going to take another pivotal piece up there at the top, get ourselves a quality defender, get ourselves a quality offensive line, get us a weapon for Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields needs a real big time monster weapon. That would be, that would be a big time thing for him. And we'll see how that rolls. But he could definitely be on the trade block because of Caleb Williams, high end quarterbacks like that at the top of the 2024 draft for sure. Legend as it's no wrong one. JD Derrick Henry. I don't know, JD. I like Derrick Henry. I guess that depends on what you get him for. Is Derrick Henry a guy that wants to come and play with Arthur Smith? Is there room in the backfield if they have Jalen Warren, Najee Harris, and Derrick Henry? In my opinion, you add those three together, that spells disaster for defenses. I'm not sure how you could actually stop it, having those three guys really fully going all the time, fresh and healthy, because none of them have to carry the load fully. You bring in Najee, you wear down a defense, and then you bring in Derrick Henry and let him pummel people, and then you mix it in with a Jalen Warren and spread the ball around and throw it deep. I think it could add a seriously lethal dynamic to the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, and I know Derrick Henry is an older fella, but he thrived in Arthur Smith's offense. I think he's still got something to prove, something left in the tank. He wants to win a Super Bowl. I think it could be a match made in heaven if they actually got him for the right price and he was willing to come play for Pittsburgh, a place that he would know that he is not going to be the feature guy, that he would be second fiddle to Najee Harris, to Jalen Warren. I mean, that's just, he would have to understand his role, come in as a finisher like a Jerome Bettis was in late in his career, that kind of guy, in my opinion. I don't even know what you're talking about. The Candy C calls. I'm not sure. What's this about? I'm not sure what you're even talking about. We're talking football here. So, uh, AYO exam football. What team do you think deserves to have Shador Sanders as their starter when he joins the NFL? Shit, I don't know, man. Legend has it. Thank you. Shador Sanders is. I would like. I think he's going to do well in the NFL. I really do. I think he showed some real toughness. He's going to go tops in the draft, I'm sure. Top 5 pick for sure. Top 10 pick. No doubt about it, depending on how he finishes his career as a Colorado Buffalo. His dad's a monster coach, a guy that's a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's going to naturally demand some attention for sure, and he's going to be picked high, and people are going to be willing to take a chance on a guy that has Hall of Fame blood running through him, and not to mention he plays pretty damn well on the football field. He's highly intelligent, works hard. Whoever gets him, I feel like is going to be pleasantly surprised. We'll see how he does now that the Colorado Buffs are going to bolster their offensive line and things of that nature. That could show a lot more of what Shador can do. He can move around in the pocket, throw the ball deep. He has a strong arm. Good kid, it seems like, too. So that's going to be interesting for sure. Lane, what's your name? Well, your name's Lane. My name's Jason. If you watch my videos, I say it every time, bro. My name's Jason, though. Thank you for asking. Thank you for joining us, Lane. Sorry. I was just reading comments there, guys. Anything else you guys really want to chat about today on this Saturday edition here on Mike Drop Sports? If you're not already subscribe, like, share, all that fun stuff. We appreciate you stopping through, talking football. We're going to be doing our live shows more regularly, probably 3 to 4 times a week here out of the 7 day week. So we're going to be really starting to hit it hard here. So I invite you all to always join us every day to talk football. It doesn't always have to be about the Steelers, it could be about anything. So we could talk really anything. It does not matter. Just bring it up in the chat. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I'm going to look at another mock draft here this time, guys, from Daniel Jeremiah. This one was put out on January 19th. I know it's a little old. It was updated, though, on January 21st. And I'm just curious as what to see from Daniel Jeremiah here. These are picks 1 through 30. And that is where we had an interesting conversation there not long ago about Justin Fields. Daniel Jeremiah does have Chicago Bears taking USC quarterback, junior quarterback, Caleb Williams, and that is going to put Justin Fields on the trade block in my eyes. I would think so. He has the Commanders taking quarterback Drake May, North Carolina quarterback, sophomore Drake May. I'm not sure how that fits in Washington with Drake May. The Patriots taking somebody the Steelers were linked to, I know, that I've heard people saying that they would like him to have is Jaden Daniels, LSU quarterback, whose draft stocks really rose here as of late. But Marvin Harrison Jr. would be tempting at that spot if you were, if you were the Patriots, in my opinion. Then you had Marvin Harrison Jr. going forward to the Cardinals. Let's get down to the Steelers pick here. Who Daniel Jeremiah had him getting here at pick number 20 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He has them taking who is this guy? Amarius Mims. I've heard this a lot, guys. Offensive tackle from Georgia to match up with Broderick Jones. That could be cool. Thank you, Legends. Bye, bro. Tiffany Dinninger. Sorry, guys. Bill, hello in China. Hello. Yeah, cool. Sorry, guys. I got lost in some of your comments. One more question. Who's winning the Super Bowl? I gotta put my money on the Chiefs, guys. If you're a betting man, go with the Chiefs. In my eyes, if you want to make some money, I think that they're just a team, guys. I preach that all the time. They are a team. They rely on each other. They play with each other. I'm not saying the 49ers aren't, but the Chiefs have been doing the damn thing for a long time, and they know how to get it done. They know how to win championships. And Shanahan has not got over that hump and not been able to win a Lombardi trophy, and that is a issue when you're going up against a guy like Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, guys that have got the hardware, got the rings, got the Lombardis, and that's a hard thing to overcome, man. These guys know how to get it done. And that's tough late in the football game in the fourth quarter when you're matching up with guys that know how to get the shit done, in my eyes. All right, JC Latham, offensive tackle, Alabama. He is a monster. I agree. I've seen him, bro. For sure, I'd like to have him. Would you say that he would go before JD? Would you say that he goes before Amarius Mims, the junior offensive tackle out of Georgia? Would you say that that guy from Alabama goes before him? That would be the interesting thing. Fishing Entertainment. I'm a Steelers fan too. Yeah, me too, bro. Thanks for stopping through. I appreciate you. Miranda Garcia. BOR. I'm not sure. Are you saying we're boring? Sorry if we are. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Fishing Entertainment. Do you have any pets? Yes, two. Actually, more than two. I have fish, actually. Fishing Entertainment. I have many fish. I have two dogs, two Labrador retrievers, and a parakeet. All my son's pets. Thank you to my son who has made our house a zoo, and dad takes care of them all. So thank you. Let's see. Mexico. Hey, what's up? Hello to Mexico. What's up, my friend? Thank you for joining. What else, guys? Do you think that that's a big pick for the Steelers if they went out there and got Amarius Mims, guys, at 20? That's a George Pickens, Darnell Washington, Broderick Jones. They'd be hot and heavy on the Georgia train, guys. Really, really hot and heavy. But there's an interesting guy that goes right after the Steelers pick at 21 to the Miami Dolphins, and that's Brian Thomas Jr., the LSU wide receiver, a junior classman. I like him, guys. I really, really do. I I think the Steelers need a third wide receiver, but I wouldn't pick them in the first round. But that's an interesting pick to go right after. I am well. How are you, Mexico? I hope you're doing well also. Thank you for joining us again. Um, let's look at that offensive lineman that you have J.C. Latham going. That's the Alabama guy. They have the Bengals picking him at 18, JD. Yeah, they have him going at 18. So, yeah, that would suck for the Steelers. Maybe they trade up ahead of the Bengals because you saw how they did Broderick Jones last year. They jumped up ahead of the Jets. They knew they were going to take Broderick Jones. They knew it, so they jumped up. You're only going past, so you would have to make a trade with the Jaguars at 17, who are picking a guy that the Steelers have also been linked to, Quinion Mitchell, Toledo cornerback, who is a beast. And JD, I think you're right. I think maybe making a deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars, or who picks in front of the Jaguars? The Seattle Seahawks, who's projected to take the Washington tackle, Fanutu. Yeah, Fanutu, something like that. He's the guy from Washington, Troy Fanutu. So those tackles, they're picking. They're saying there's going to be a run on those tackles there. So you figure you're going to have a couple other players sprinkled in, but the tackles are really going to take a run here. They're picking about like 16 to 20, 22, something like that. Tackles are going to be a real premium here. Tyler Guyton, the Oklahoma offensive tackle, they have him going to the Eagles at 22. So from pick 16 up, that's when you're going to have a heavy run of tackles for sure. Um, what's that? Can't read your name, dude. I don't know what it is. The clown guy with the clown picture. Do you like Twice? I'm not sure who Twice is, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not sure who you're talking to. All right. Well, what do you guys think about that? That run on tackles, like we saw last year, that happened, and the Steelers were able to go up. So, if you're the Steelers making a deal with the Jaguars, what would you have to give up in order to make go up a couple picks? You're gonna have to give up something decent, I'm sure. So and is it worth it? Is Amarius Mims, J.C. Latham, that Troy dude from Washington. Are those guys all similar enough that whatever one falls to you, falls to you? What about that Tyler Guyton? One of those guys. If you get one of those four, pick one of those guys. You know what I mean? And take your chance on a center in the second round. Where do the Steelers pick in the second round? That's the question. I'm sorry, I had it here earlier and I lost it. Steelers draft picks. Sorry, guys, I got to bring it back up. Steelers draft picks 2024. Let's see. What do they got? What do they got? That's the question. Do you wait and see where you pick? They pick 51. That's kind of deep in round two. You know what I mean? Steelers aren't the best. King JJ, Steelers aren't the best. Not right now, they're not, but they could be eventually if they do the right things here in the offseason for sure. All right, guys, let's start wrapping it up. Any last minute questions that you guys want to ditch out there and talk about real quick before we get off? We've been on for about 42 minutes, so we're about to take off here and go get some dinner on my end. I don't know about you guys, but I did a lot of work outside and things of that nature here on a Saturday. I have to coach a youth basketball game tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So, busy weekend for sure. But the Steelers, again, guys, round 1, 20th overall. Round 2, 51st. Round 3, 84. Round 4, pick 119. And they have 2 fourth-round picks, 119 and 120. And that's going to be a big spot for them, guys. Definitely a big spot. Round 6, pick 196. And round 7, 237. But that round 4 could play big dividends for the Steelers. You could go out and grab a couple cornerbacks there in 4th round or something like that. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? I said the Chiefs. King JJ, if you just joined us, buddy, I think the Chiefs, if that would be my safe bet. They have won the Lombardi before. They know how to get it done. That was my rationale for why I picked the Chiefs. But the Niners are going to make it a game. I think it's going to be a good game. Christian McCaffrey is him, dude. Brock Purdy is him. They are good. And we'll see how it goes. Right on. Yeah, no doubt, bro. All right, guys. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we get off? Remember, though, if you're not subscribed, subscribe, share, like, all that fun stuff. And I appreciate your support here on Mike Drop Sports. Again, we're going to be going through and having more live shows weekly, 3 to 4 a week probably now. And we're going to try to do that from now until whenever, as long as we're growing the channel here. So we're going to keep trying to do that and see how that goes. Let's see if there's anything else interesting. Um, wow. One mock draft, guys, before we get off here, have the Steelers taking quarterback Bo Nix from Oregon. I don't think that happens. That would require a heavy trade up. I think Bo Nix will go early. Um, Round 2, they have him picking Zach Frazier. Round 3, Jalen McMillan out of Washington, the wide receiver, which could be a good pick. And I like the second round pick in Zach Frazier. I think the Steelers should really eye Zach Frazier in the second round. I think that would be positive. I don't think Jackson Powers would be there. I just don't think that he'll be there in the second round. The Oregon center, Powers Jackson or something like that. Uh, yeah, I don't think he'll be there, but I think Zach Frazier could be there at pick 54. I think or 51. I think he could be. Okay, Jason C. I'm going with San Francisco. All right, JD. Peace, brother. Thanks for coming by. JD's going with San Francisco. There you go. All right, guys. Put your Super Bowl predictions in there. Leave them in for the chat. People can read them later. Um, we're going to take off here. I think we're about done. I appreciate you guys all for coming through again today. Like I said, this is Mike Drop Sports, and I thank you so much for your support. So we're going to peace out, and hopefully everybody enjoys the remainder of their weekend. Go out and have a good dinner or something tonight. Chiefs for JJ King. All right, Chiefs. He got the Chiefs. All right, go out, have a good dinner. Go enjoy your family. Go do some things with some friends, loved ones, things of that nature. Enjoy the day, enjoy the weekend, and thank you again for your continued support. Until next time, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace.